He walked into the police station at 4 a.m. covered in blood, holding a knife in a plastic bag. The officer behind the desk didn't even have to ask. Tyler Boone looked him dead in the eye and said, uncovered how a gaming rivalry between two best friends spiraled out of control, ending in the brutal stabbing of 17-year-old Josh Miller. I killed him, I just snapped. In part 1, in fact, he explained it all, step by step. Now in part 2, we take you inside the police station, the courtroom, and most chilling of all, inside Tyler's mind. Why did he do it? Hid it in his hoodie pocket. Waited until Josh was distracted, grabbing a controller, looking at his phone. That's when he attacked. What was his real motive? And could this murder have been prevented? After turning himself in, Tyler was taken into custody and placed in a holding cell. I regret that it came to this, possibly because Tyler turned himself in and gave a full confession. But that didn't soften the blow for Josh's family or the community. But I don't regret stopping him. But those who knew both boys said the real story was more complicated. Some called Tyler a monster. Others said he was a ticking time bomb that the system ignored, with identity, with anger. It wasn't about the game. It was about losing control over his own narrative. With feeling overlooked, but no one expected it to come to violence. And narcissistic traits, a dangerous mix in someone who tied his self-worth to online success. Within hours, detectives brought him into an interview room. The tape would later become a key piece of evidence in court, not because it showed guilt, but because it showed just how cold he had become. That every time Josh succeeded, whether it was gaining followers, but they did plead for leniency, getting noticed by streamers, or us being liked more, it felt like another jab at his pride. Tyler didn't try to deny anything, but showed clear intent once it was set in motion. Once filled with clips of him and Tyler laughing during streams, became a place of mourning. Followers posted tribute messages, streamers held memorials. He said he'd been thinking about it for weeks, that it wasn't just about the tournament. Forums Tyler visited about how young men, in particular, often go unheard until it's too late. A Reddit thread titled, "What If You Really Hate Your Best Friend?" aimed at helping teens navigate the pressures of online life. Their mission: make sure no one else loses their life over digital status. He was supposed to be my friend, Tyler told detectives. To build a future in gaming with his best friend. The sound of a father discovering his son bleeding on the floor was enough to silence the entire courtroom. Insecurity, and what happens when identity and ego go unchecked for too long. But I was always second, always in his shadow. Detectives would later say it was one of the most emotionless confessions they'd ever heard. His mother spoke to reporters outside the courthouse, saying, Tyler admitted he brought the knife from his garage that night. 3 stabs, the first one in the chest. He was like a brother to Josh. It pierced Josh's lung. He collapsed almost instantly. When asked if he regretted it, Tyler paused and said, I don't know. Those words stunned the room. Tyler was officially charged with second-degree murder, meaning the act wasn't premeditated in the legal sense. Prosecutors didn't pursue first-degree murder. The story made local headlines, then regional ones. Teen gamer kills friend over tournament loss. The media ran with it. Tyler had been struggling for years. The community was split. Tyler's trial began in April 2024. His defense team didn't argue the facts. Tyler had confessed. He had turned himself in. Their angle: temporary insanity. They brought in psychologists who testified that Tyler had suffered from undiagnosed depression, anxiety. The defense argued that gaming had become Tyler's identity. And when Josh started getting the recognition Tyler craved, he snapped. But the prosecution came prepared. They showed text messages between Tyler and a classmate from 3 weeks before the stabbing, where he said, If he beats me again, I swear I'll lose it. They pointed to search history. And they played the 911 call from Josh's dad. When the jury deliberated, they only needed 4 hours. Guilty. Second-degree murder. Sentence: 25 years in prison. No chance of parole for the first 15. Tyler showed little reaction when the verdict was read. Josh's parents were devastated. We lost our son, but we also lost someone we thought was family. Tyler ate at our table. Josh's Twitch channel. Tyler's account was deleted. But his story kept spreading. Some in the gaming community used it as a wake-up call. About online obsession. About mental health. Josh's parents started a small nonprofit in his memory. Game well. Josh Miller was 17 years old. He had plans to go pro. To move to LA. But on one October night, that friendship turned fatal. He was stabbed not by an enemy, but by someone who once called him brother. Not over money. Not over betrayal, over a game. But, as we've seen, it was never just about the game, it was about jealousy. This was the murder of a best friend, and the end of a story that should have never had to be told.